Hi everyone, we are down here at Mark and Sandy's farm again today, and today Mark is going to be telling you about one of his tractors, the tractor that he uses to feed hay to the cows. So he's going to be explaining some of the different parts of the tractor, and then we'll get in and take a ride and go up and feed some hay out to the cows out in the field. So I'm going to switch you around, and that way, go ahead over there, and that way Dad can show you some of the different parts on the tractor.
Okay, this tractor here is what they call a mid-size tractor. It is a four-wheel drive tractor. A few years ago there was a lot of people that didn't have four-wheel drive tractors, but now there's a lot of people have four-wheel drive tractors because they work great, especially this time of year when it's real wet, or in the winter when there's snow or the pastures are real wet. You can get around and won't get stuck. This is the front of the tractor, and these are, you see how tall these tires are, and the rear of the tractor, if you got a big tractor, the tires are going to be about this tall. They're going to be as tall as my head. This is a perfect size tractor for kind of on the farm for feeding hay and maybe raking or mowing, brush hogging. And this tractor here has a loader on it, what they call a high loader. And the front of it is bale spikes, and they are changeable. You can put a bucket on it for picking up like rock or gravel or mud or dirt, but it is changeable out. This has bale spikes. It's got two of them. Sometimes tractors on the front will have one bale spike, a big one, and two little ones, but this one has two. It works great for different things. This tractor here is what you call a cab tractor. Most tractors anymore have cabs, but you can buy new ones without cabs. We'll show you one that doesn't have a cab. Actually, in the summertime, if it's not too hot, I really like one without a cab because I like to be outside and feel the fresh air. The back of it here is what they call a bale unroller. You can carry bales with it, but also you'll see in a little while we'll stamp a bale back here and we'll unroll it on the ground. This is called a three-point hitch. It lifts it up and down. It works great. We'll go over here and show you the tractor. There's another tractor I feed with sometimes. This is a tractor without a cab, and I really like this. It is also a four-wheel drive tractor. This one's only about 55 horsepower, but it's enough to feed hay with. We'll walk over here and look at another tractor.
Hi, Namie, as we're walking. Namie says hi, Dad.
Hi.
And let's see, Abby, I think I saw that you were on. Hi, Abby, and hi, everyone else that's watching.
This tractor here is an AGCO tractor. The tractor we just looked at a while ago was an AGCO, the orange one. And the red one was a Massey Ferguson. They're all made by the same company. This one's about a 65 horsepower tractor, and you can see it has a loader and it's got a cab, and it's the same setup. We'll go to another tractor. I've got another tractor. It's in the shop right now, but it seems like I can't drive them all at once, but it's nice to have them if I've got one in the shop or I have one on a piece of equipment. This tractor here is about a 60 horsepower, and it's also a four-wheel drive. It's a Deutz tractor. They've been around for years. This does not have a loader on it. It's also, you can see it's a three-point hitch, and on behind it is what you call a brush hog. It's used for mowing pastures or brush. It's about a 14-foot wide mower, and I won't be using it much till later on in the summer. These are called bat wings. They fold up and down so you can go through gates and stuff.
All right, so as you can see, he's got different kinds of equipment on each of the tractors, so he doesn't have to move equipment on and off it quite so much. So what we're going to do now is we're going to climb up into the tractor and start driving down the road. It's kind of a tight squeeze, inside a cab, but we're gonna try to make it work the best that we can. We'll be going up by the old White House where all the hay is stored, well, where some of the hay is stored, to go get the hay. It's gonna be pretty loud when we're riding inside the tractor. Normally Dad will wear some headphones that plays music and it kind of blocks the sound out a little bit. Okay.
Oh. Can you move
What?
your feet over there a little bit? It's not like the old International. Okay, now you can see. Are you setting down?
Yeah, kind of.
I won't lower it real loud so you can hear.
Dad's being kind to us. He's not going to go super fast, so that way it's not going to be super loud. So I'm going to switch it around a little bit so you can see some of the controls that are on the inside. So, Dad, what is that orange handled thing that you've got your hand on now?
This is the gear shift. You put it in different gears so you can go faster or slower, whatever gear you want. This has 6 speeds on it, and it has a high and low where you can put it in the low side, and then you have 6 speeds on low that'll kind of creep around. This handle right here is your loader. What it does, it raises and lowers the loader. You can see it raises, lower, and also it tilts the front where it's spike. And this lever right here is for my bale and roller in the back. It lowers and raises it. And these 2 handles are hydraulic. It opens it up. And down on the bottom I have the clutch and the brake. And this here is your throttle. In other words, it gives you more gas. This is a diesel tractor, so it gives you more diesel. It's like your parents, if they're driving, they have a foot feed. This also has a foot feed, but it has a hand throttle. And a lot of people use the hand throttle more than they do the foot throttle. This button right here is to go forward or backwards. Well, I'm going to shift into higher gear now. Sit down now, maybe that'll give you more room.
Okay. So the seat that he's riding in right now is a bouncy seat. So it's not a seat that's stationary, so it kind of bounces along as we move in the tractor. That's kind of nice. So how often do you feed hay typically, like in the winter time? How many bales of hay do you feed?
Well, usually I can feed 2 bales of hay to each group, unroll it, but since it's so wet, I've been setting a lot of bales out because I really don't want to tear the pastures up. And I haven't fed for several days because I set a lot of bales up, but I need to set more bales out. And like I said, it is so muddy out, it's horrible. If I didn't have a 4-wheel drive tractor, I probably couldn't feed very much at all. You definitely could not use the loader because there'd be so much weight in the front end of it, and I would get stuck.
So, like in the middle of winter time, whenever it's snowing and there's snow out and there isn't grass growing, how much do you normally have to feed?
When now?
Like in the winter.
Oh, in the winter?
Uh-huh.
Usually, if the grass is enough, I don't have to feed any, but if they don't have much grass at all, usually 2 bales a day.
Oh, okay.
to each group. Roughly a cow will probably eat anywhere from 4 to 6 bales a year, a season. Usually you don't have to ever feed hay in the summer, but I've had to do it before when we've had a major drought, when they ran out of grass until it rained. And your hay bales will weigh anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 pounds. Some of these bales that I have are going to weigh 1,500, maybe more, and some of them are going to weigh 1,000 pounds. getting ready to back up. What I'm going to feed today, or unroll it, I have what they call some wheat bales. They baled it when it was right in the stage that they'll eat it good. And that's what I'm going to unroll, and the rest of it will be just regular fescue and grass hay. You see that?
Yeah, I turned it around so it's the back view.
See, the cows are ready for it. They were all up here, kind of getting hungry for a change. Right now, I've lowered the loader down, and I'm going to stab a bale. See, I'm going to pick it up. Now we're backing up. And since I have help today, Katie's going to get out and open and shut the gate. The donkeys are up here, so you better shut it once I get to feeding them. I won't have to.
That's fine. Okay, here, I'm gonna give that to you.
Okay, Katie's getting out, and she's gonna open the gate. A lot of times if I don't have help, if the cows are wanting to come through, I have to get out in several times, but I think today we won't have to. As you can see, there's a bunch of cows up there. They're ready to get something to eat.
Okay.
In the springtime, when the grass is starting to grow up, a lot of times that's when your calves or cows will try their best to get out to the other side, because they really like the green, fresh grass. That's the best part of the grass they like. So
you can see over here, there's fencing that's separating from this field over here. When we were out driving around with Madeline yesterday, you could really tell the difference of how, can't really tell it through the window, but it's much greener over on this side and the grass is definitely higher.
I'm going to set this bale down so I can unroll that one.
All right.
I wonder if when I start unrolling this, if you want to get out.
Yeah, I can.
And while I'm unrolling, you can talk and kind of walk too.
Yeah, that's fine. Why don't you let me out then before you start lowering it down? Ooh.
To lower it down, raise it up, and then kind of straighten over.
Okay, so I'm gonna get out of the tractor so that way you can see a little bit better what he's doing here with his hay. So bad. So you can see the cows are really excited about what's happening. They really like their hay. I always think it's kind of funny that such a little bitty sound on a horn for a big old tractor. So he has to lift the hay bale up off the ground, because what he's going to do now, oh, this bull was really liking it, rubbing his head on it. He has to cut the twine that's around the hay bale so that way he can unroll it. And yesterday, towards the end of our checking cows video, you saw us stop and pick up the twine, the plastic twine that was out in the field. So that's what that was from. So you can see it's like a netting that's around these kind of hay bales. Some hay bales, whenever they're made, they have twine that's just wrapped like a bunch of strings. This is more like a net. And you can see the way the hay is made. It's like a bunch of like it's been rolled up, which is basically what happens when it's inside a baler. And I'll let Dad explain sometime the process that we go through for baling hay and all the different steps that you have to use for doing that. This bull is really enjoying his back scratches. So now, since he has the netting off of it, now he can come back around and he can use the bale roller again. You can see that there are the spikes on either side, so that's where it hooks into the hay bale in the middle of it. And all of the tools that he was showing you inside the cab, that's what he uses to control it, to control how high and how much he opens it. Yep, so there he's going to reposition a little bit to get more into the center of the bale, so that way it'll roll out easier. And even though these hay bales are really high and they're taller than me, well, almost as tall as me, you don't really realize how much hay is on the inside of it until you actually roll it all out and see how far down it goes. This allows for more of the animals to eat it at one time, and you can see they are really enjoying it. They're all coming over here. Now he's going to reposition again, so he's more in the center of the bale. So that one hay bale rolled out from way back there at the pole all the way down here. Want to get me? Just let me in. So I'm going to get back in so that way you can see what it looks like from the inside. Oh, hang on. I don't think this door is latched all the way.
I'm going to go ahead and unroll this other one.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's a small one. That bale there had netting on it, and this one has string, plastic strings.
Oh, I forgot though. You'll have to get out.
Did you tell them about the netting keeps it better?
Well, no, you can tell them.
Some of these bales got netting on them when I took off, and the netting is really good because it protects the bale from the moisture getting in. It kind of makes it run off. This next bale that I'm going to feed, it's a smaller bale, and it has string on it. It has plastic string. Some of the hay has the natural string, but it rots out. But this is plastic, and we have to pick it up and throw it away.
So why is it important to keep the moisture out of the hay as much as you can?
If you got too much moisture in it, it'll mold and get rotten, and the cows won't want to eat it. I'm feeding them kind of up on top of the hill because it's not near as muddy. We had a lot of wind and warm weather. It dried the field out somewhat. It's still better. This is one group of cows, and today I'm going to feed another group of cows. And over at Shawnee, where we have a farm and a couple farms that I rent, I've got 2 other groups of cattle, but I've already got hay out for them, so I won't have to feed them.
So this type of twine is the string that I was telling you about, where it's just a bunch of single strands instead of the netting, like what was on the other bale. Oh, sorry. So we try to put the netting from the bales kind of in a central location, so he's put most of it over here by this pole. That makes it easier for us to come out and collect it whenever we're getting stuff out of the field, and it also keeps it from having the grass that grows up around it. This bale is not quite unrolling as much as the other one. Is there a reason for that?
Some of them are packed different. That bale the other bale was a couple years old. And it'll start unrolling in a minute. hard to get it centered right if nobody's out there showing you how to get it centered. You have to get the spikes in the center of the bale so it'll then roll right.
So do the cows do a pretty good job of staying out of your way whenever you're out here on the tractor?
Yeah, as long as they have something to eat. If you're unrolling the first one, they want to get in your way because they're in a hurry to get that good fresh bite.
Okay. Well, do you have anything else you want to tell everybody? Dad?
No.
No? Okay. Probably on some other day we'll talk more about the process that we go through to bale the hay, mowing it and raking it and baling it up so that way we can get to this point of having hay bales. If you have any questions about anything that you saw today, please go ahead and post them in the comments and I will send them Dad's way and get him to answer you. And I'm going to switch it around and say bye one more time. I would wave, but I've got one hand back here kind of bracing how I'm standing. So I hope everybody has a great day and we will see you tomorrow. Say bye.
Bye, everybody.